Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we'll be covering day 4 of the Cat's Tail Gathering tournament, where I actually faced a lot of repeated decks, so very interesting gameplay indeed. But those repeated decks weren't all meta decks, so it was actually kind of interesting. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. For our first game, we're going up against Ian here, who is using Linny, Mona and Fischl. So I heard that this deck, Mona and Linny, it can probably first turn kill you, and that's why I decided to keep Lotus in my starting hand, because I want to use Raiden's skill and normal attack to charge up a burst. So if I don't have Lotus, I'm probably gonna die, but I have Lotus so I won't die. Amazing, I know. So starting off, I just use Seed Dispensary and Opera to gain an extra Electro die, and then I just use a skill. You might argue that I don't actually have to use Seed Dispensary here because I've more dice than I'll even need in the first place, but I've learned that it's better to just save the dice if you can, because sometimes, who knows, you never know when you might need to switch or stuff. Also there, I made sure to use Lotus after Mona uses a skill, because you don't want to use the Lotus first and just tank Mona's skill, which only deals 1 damage. So since I used the Lotus, they decided to go for Fischl instead of Linny, since Fischl will do more damage in overall thanks to Electro Charge. In total. I can English, thank you. Here I made a pretty bad mistake of tuning my Gamblers. I should have tuned like a hash brown or something. Don't ask me why I tuned Gamblers, man. And now here comes the deadly combo of Fish and Chips and Mondstadt Resonance. So now they'll be able to use all 3 of their discounted skills. Now I tune a hash brown and then I use Shenhe's Elemental Burst. But since I don't have any more dice, Shenhe will definitely die to the summons. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Just now, instead of tuning Gamblers, I definitely should have tuned I Haven't Lost Yet, since, as you can see, I don't even get to use it here.
My curse.
Now I'm just gonna put down a Seelie, Volukasha, to start drawing some cards since I'm really low on cards. Then I just kill Fischl. And I also made sure to heal up Chongyun because I don't want to die to Bewildering Lights plus Tandoori Chicken. Now here I actually switched to Raiden instead of using my burst, because if I use my burst I can't switch off of Chongyun, and Linny's Bewildering Lights here with 2 prop surplus stacks will deal 5 damage, which is just enough to take out Chongyun. So that's why I switched to Raiden there, because I obviously don't want Chongyun to die. Plus they have a Lotus up, so there was no point attacking anyway. I just decided to use a normal attack to break the Lotus since I didn't have any other use for those 3 remaining dice anyway. And now I'm just hoping they don't have Fresh Wind of Freedom to double kill my characters. I mean, they probably won't double kill Chongyun, because Chongyun has 6 HP at least. But those fears were gone when they used Joyous Celebration. Now they use Bewildering Lights on Raiden to take her out and heal up Linny, because now Chongyun's 7 damage burst is not enough to take out Linny, who has 8 HP here combined with the Lotus. But thankfully I do have the Adeptus Temptation, so of course I use it right away and take out Linny. Now against Mona this should be a fairly simple win, but of course they don't just have Mona, they actually still have Linny, by the way. Great. When they had 2 dice there, I was worried they were gonna somehow attack one more time, like maybe that an extra... Okay, I don't know how you would get an extra die. Like Boar Princess, yeah. Maybe that another Heart of Kavarina Brilliance replace this one, and they would have 3 dice and use Mona's skill, and I think I would lose there if they did that, but thankfully they didn't. So now I put out I Haven't Lost Yet and Woven as well to create 2 dice out of thin air and take out Mona here. And now all that's left is a 1 Linny, so I should win this basically. Because even if they use Lotus, I still have the Shattering Ice to take him out. Actually, my burst already deals 7 damage, so that's way more than I need anyway. So yes, this should just be a win. Because there's no way they have another Fried Egg, right? Come on. Who puts 2 Fried Eggs in a single deck? Unless you're like a mega stall deck. GG.
My show mustn't fail.
Now for the second game, we are going up against Ian again, who is again using the same deck. So let's see how this goes this time. Once again, I start first. And now this time I get Seed Dispensary and Sealy, so I can actually draw a lot of cards straight away from the start. To avoid getting first turn killed, I also got 2 food cards in my starting hand. It's not... Oh yeah, I actually got a Lotus as well, so I can just Lotus up again, just like the previous game. Here they're just using Gilded Dreams to fix their dice. Don't really have to worry about that, so I just Lotus up, use my skill, and then carry along my way. So now they Electro Charge me, just like the previous game, and then I end my round. And so far everything's been exactly the same as the first game, other than the fact that I have a Sealy now. So actually it is already going better for me. My dice are also excellent here, so 4 Electro dice, and I'll have 3 Cryo dice for Shenhe's Burst after this. Now they switch to Linny, who probably going to use Prop Arrow. So I just equip Vorokasha's Glow on Shenhe and then switch to her. Now once again, they use Gilded Dreams just to fix some dice, though with like 5 dice, they probably have a way to get the 6th die and attack twice. I just use the burst anyway, I don't really care. Now they switch back to Mona and they're gonna use a skill. But I didn't want Shenhe to die to Mona's skill plus these 2 summons, so that's why I healed her up with a Hash Brown here. This allows her to survive those 3 hits on 1 HP, and then the Grim Malkin Hat will overload her off into Chongyun, so she'll survive basically. Now they use Joyous again, so once again I don't have to worry about Fresh Wind of Freedom. But on the downside, they did cleanse all their elements. Not like elements actually really matter to my deck. Now here, I obviously want to take out Mona because without their Hydro and also Mona's kind of a pivot with her fast action switch, without her they'll be severely crippled. I can take her out with like Seed Dispensary, Gamblers, followed by Shattering Ice, and Chongyun's skill or normal attack. I think I'll just use the normal attack since I don't have infinite cryo dice. But the problem is, after that they can put out Linny, who has Bewildering Lights. And with Prop Surplus, this deals 4 damage, which turns into 6 with Vaporize. And if they have Tandoori Chicken in hand, and they have a lot of cards in hand, and they already showed that in the previous game that they have Tandoori Chicken, so if they have Tandoori Chicken, then Chongyun dies. And I would probably lose the game afterwards. But like, what else am I gonna do other than kill Mona, right? So I just take the gamble here. I tried fishing for Fresh Wind of Freedom, but I didn't get it. So I'm just gonna go for the kill here.
The stars are fading.
I do think maybe I should have used the skill though, because I would have only had to tune one more card anyway if I need all cryo dice. Now here they Lotus up Lenny, which is a huge relief for me because that means they don't have tandoori chicken. So, and plus the Lotus didn't even help them because with Shattering Ice I can take out Lenny again. I mean not again, but like I can take him out even through the Lotus. Now here comes a second Lotus on Fischl, and they just take out Chongyun. Now I send out Shenhe, use I Haven't Lost Yet, and just use an elemental skill. Sure, it doesn't deal damage, but I mean I might as well since I don't have any other use for my dice. Now I just end the round with Vorukasha's Glow, and thankfully Raiden will be able to survive on 2 HP here. Okay, it's not 1 HP, so it's not as epic. But yes, so, and plus with Vorukasha will heal Raiden up, so she'll have slightly more HP. But it doesn't matter anyway because Fischl's down to 1 HP and Raiden will be able to take her out at the start of the next round. So that's GG. Now for our third game, we are going up against Nilum here. Nilobloom, but into one word, Nilum. And based on my previous experiences with using Shenhe SC against this, I usually lose against Nilum. It's unfortunate, but it is how this matchup goes, because they just deal more damage than me, simply put, and they have a lot more healing. Okay, I don't think they deal more damage than me. I think it's roughly the same. But the point is they have a lot more healing as well, so I just lose. The only way I counter them is if I have Send Off in this deck, but let's be real, no one puts Send Off in their decks right now. Like, putting Send Off in your deck right now is just useless. No one has summons. Except my deck and this deck, I guess. If you have Send Off against Nilum, it's really good, because you can send off the Dendro Cores and then you just win, because that's all their damage gone. But I don't have Send Off.
I will do as you command.
So what I do instead is I use Woven and I switch to Shenhe because I don't want them triggering Bloom. Plus if I didn't switch from Raiden there, she would have died from the Hydro attack as well as the summons. So very important that I switch there. And now I'm just gonna switch back to Raiden honestly because I need to use a burst. I can't really avoid getting hit by Nilo and giving them another Dendro Core.
Stay close and you will live.
So as we can see, here comes their food. So right off the bat, there's already a Lotus. If they don't have all these healing cards, I would win, but well, they do. Hydro Resonance is also really strong too. It gives 4 HP for 1 die.
I will do as you command.
So now I switch to Shenhe because I'm not scared of them like switching back fast action, switching back to Nilo and using the elemental skill to take out Shenhe, because if they do that, I can put out Chongyun, use I Haven't Lost Yet, and then use my burst on Nilo to take her out. And once Nilo's out of the picture, then it's a pretty easy win from there, even if they can't revive her, because if she revives, Superconduct will probably take her out anyway. And if they don't take out Shenhe, like so, then I can use Woven to use the Elemental Burst, which is my main plan. You see me do this in every single game. Now unfortunately Shenhe does go down, but now I can put out Chongyun and use I Haven't Lost Yet. Then I just use the Lotus as well to tank the Bountiful Core. Now it's not looking good for me because all their characters are still pretty healthy except for Baizu, and I'm already down to 1.5 characters. So if I want to win this, I will probably need Fresh Wind of Freedom. So the first thing I'm gonna do next round, when it's my turn, is use Strategize to fish for it. Okay, first I use Seed Dispensary and Gamblers. Now I fish for it and I actually get Fresh Wind of Freedom, which is insane. So of course I use it, and then I take out Baizu here. And now they sacrifice Mona of course, And I just use my burst on her.
My reckoning has come.
Looking back, maybe I didn't have to use my burst on her. Because... okay, I'm not sure actually. Because like... If I don't use my burst on her, then they will be forced to stay on Mona and use a skill, which really doesn't deal much damage. And then I can save the burst for Nilo instead. Not sure. Honestly, the summons would still deal a lot of damage, so maybe using the burst was the right plan after all. Now here comes even more healing. Matsutake meat rolls. And then they just use their burst. Wait. Hold up. Okay.
Swift and merciful.
Now I use my elemental skill because now my plan is, since I can attack twice, I'll just use a skill, use a normal attack, and then my summons will finish her off. But here comes another piece of healing, Hydro Resonance. Hydro Resonance is just so broken because you can use it on top of food as well, since it's not affected by satiated, so you can get a double heal basically.
After all that training.
So now I'm hoping I can win this because Vorukasha can heal Raiden back up to 5 HP, so she can survive Nilo's skill with 1 HP. And I still have a Lotus. Yeah, I still have a Lotus here to tank another hit. And now here I'm just praying they don't have like, okay, even if they have Friday, I would still win in 2 hits. But here comes the Lotus, so that's really annoying. And the worst part is, even with Shattering Ice, which I just got, it's not enough to take out Nilo, because with Shattering Ice the normal attack only deals 4 damage and Nilo has 5 HP in total. So anyway, I just use my own Lotus and then I just normal attack to get rid of the Lotus. And then now they put out the Friday. And this is where I know I lost, because there's nothing I can do. If I have 2 attacks here, then yeah, I can win, but I don't have Woven. I don't have Woven anymore, so I can only attack 1 more time. I just use the summon. I mean, doesn't really matter what I do. The 2 Dendro Cores will take me out. So that's GG. Now for our 4th game, we are going up against Finale here. I've already lost count of how many finales I faced in this tournament. I'm just so sick of it, I'm sorry. Anyway, in my starting hand, I made sure to prioritize draw cards against Finale. I mean, you should prioritize draw cards against any deck anyway. So I managed to get Seelie and Vorukasha, which is really good. And I make sure to use them right away. Okay, first I don't use Vorukasha right away because in case they have Tandoori Chicken, I need to save an extra die to switch to Shenhe. Because if they have Tandoori Chicken and I only have 3 dice left, then I'll be forced to stay on Raiden to attack and then she'll just die. So they don't have Tandoori Chicken, so then I equip Vorukasha's Glow. Once again, my dice are actually really good, which is great, so I just use a burst right away. And now unfortunately, they do get a really nice set of cards here. They got Boar Princess and Gamblers, meaning they get 3 whole dice from this kill, as well as Fresh Wind of Freedom, so they can just get another free attack.
I will do as you command.
If they didn't have Fresh Wind of Freedom, I could KO Nahida here and she wouldn't be able to use a burst, but here she can. Usually, Finale isn't able to use Nahida's burst against my deck, so that's how I've been winning so far. But now that they've actually managed to use it, I'm probably screwed. Oh, and to rub salt into the wound, yeah, Lotus. How nice. Now here I just used Vorukasha. I could have used Blizzard Strayer as well, but I decided cards were more important because I want to try and get a card that can help me win this game. Fresh Wind of Freedom, please. And Shattering Eyes. So basically here I'm asking for a lot, but I want Shattering Eyes and Fresh Wind of Freedom, because that would allow me to double kill both of their characters here. Yeah, I know, that's kinda asking for a lot. But I do have 2 strategized cards here, so I can actually try fishing for them. So on the first strategize, I get trash. And on the second strategize, I also get trash. Okay, Lotus is not trash, that's actually really good, but it's not enough to win this one. I just use it anyway, but it's not even enough to save me from Bewildering Lights, so that's just GG.
And voila! The scourge of evil remains.
Now for the 5th game of the day, I'm once again going up against Finale. Wow, interesting meta. This time I don't start first. Wait, did I even start first just now? You know what, I don't remember. And this time I decided to keep both Gamblers and Fresh Wind of Freedom. So I'm learning from my previous game. So now I'm actually gonna keep Fresh Wind of Freedom in my hand. Usually with enough draw power you just draw it anyway, but if you bottom deck it, GG I guess. So that's why I decided to just keep it in my hand this time. Plus I already have a Seelie, so I don't have to fish too hard for more draw cards in my starting hand.
There is no escape.
Here they're actually gonna use Linny this time to overload me off of Raiden. But I don't really mind, especially since this time I have LITM, so I can just fast action switch back to Raiden and use a burst whenever I want. Though even if I don't have this, it's usually fine. She's usually fine. You can just like slow swap back to her and burst anyway. Here I actually got a lot of cryo dice and not really little electro dice, and I didn't want to tune my cards since all of these are actually really important, so I decided to just use Chongyun's elemental skill first, which is probably the right play even if I had more electro dice, since plus like Chongyun with 1 energy already, after I use Raiden's burst, he'll get 3 energy instantly, so it's not a waste at all to use his elemental skill. And there they use a Sweet Madame, which is like, it's always good to see a Sweet Madame because it does nothing and it satiates their character. It's just so bad. And now they think they're safe with 4 HP. They think they're safe from this. Maybe that's why they use the Sweet Madame. But here comes the LITM. Then I fast action switch to Raiden and use a burst for 4 damage, taking out Linny here. I kinda forgot to use Woven and Gamblers though, but oh well, I guess it's fine.
My show mustn't fail.
Because if I did Woven and Gamblers, I would have 2 more dice and I could have healed someone up and even switched as well. Now, fortunately, Raiden actually died, so I can put out Chongyun here and use his burst to instantly take out Fischl. And remember, we save Gamblers and Fresh Wind of Freedom from our starting hand, so this is really good. Now ideally I would kill Fischl with the elemental skill and then use my burst to take out Nahida, but I can't do that because I don't have Shenhe's burst up, nor do I have Shattering Ice. So I have to settle for this instead.
I will do as you command.
And now I switch to Shenhe so that they can trigger burning. Unfortunately, out comes a Lotus. At least it's not like a Fried Egg, I guess. It's better than a Fried Egg. I'll take a Lotus over a Fried Egg any day.
By ordinance divine.
I just use a burst here, and then I don't know why they ended their round. You know, 5 dice is a lot to be wasting. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. So this is why they ended their round. I was like, at this point I was thinking that I was gonna lose again, but okay. Okay, maybe I wouldn't lose because it's tough. I think it'll be close, but I might still win actually. Yeah, they're already satiated, so all I have to do is attack one more time with Chongyun with using Woven, which I have. Then my summons can take her out while Chongyun will survive. Yes. Okay. Unless they have like all Dendro dice, then yeah, I lose, I guess, but that's kinda insane. So unfortunately, they do Dice of Cringe there. I'm so sorry. And I just use a skill. And then my 2 summons will take her down to 1 HP. So, I mean, this should just be winning, right? The only way they win now is that if they get Fresh Wind of Freedom and Adeptus Temptation. But that's not happening. If that happens, then I guess they need to go buy the lottery ticket or something. A lottery ticket. Go like gacha and stuff. So I was really relieved when I saw the Sweet Madame again, because that means she can't eat Adeptus Temptation anymore, and now I just win. GG.